welcome to our channel. My name is Taylor and this is my ferret Bear. And today we'll be introducing you to his siblings. It's something I thought would be really fun because I want to feature them on the channel sometimes, even though this is about him. But they're part of our family, so I really wanted to make sure that they're on this channel as well. Okay, so to talk about our animals, I'm going to start with our cats first. And for our first cat, I'm not going to hold her as I present her because she's a very interesting and unique story, and we'll get to why I won't be holding her. So the first cat that we currently have is about 12 or 13 years old at this point. We got her 11 years ago, and her name is Pocahontas. We call her Poca for short. Pocahontas has a very unique story within our family. When I was in kindergarten, Pocahontas came up to our back door, and obviously we took her in. It was really cold out. It was the first real snow of the year, so we were really worried that she was going to get frostbite or hypothermia or something. So we brought her in and took her to our garage. My parents called us down and we got to see her, and she was just this big bundle of fluff, and I felt so bad that she was out in the cold. She was this tiny little thing. We thought she was a kitten. And when we first got her, we took her to the vet the next day, but at first everyone was convinced, no, it's a boy. And we couldn't tell because there was so much fluff, and we didn't want to go reaching up there until she knew who we were. So everyone was like, no, it's a boy. And as me, being me, I just had a feeling. I was like, no, this cat's a girl. Everyone thought I was wrong. They're like, no, it's a boy. It has the build of a boy. It has to be a boy. So originally, her name was Handsome. My brother's unique name that didn't last 24 hours. So when we took Handsome to the vet, he quickly told us, like, no, Taylor was right. This is a girl cat. You're going to have to come up with a new name. So me being me in kindergarten, loving Disney movies, it was around Thanksgiving time. I was like, you know what? Let's name her Pocahontas, like the Native American princess. I'm such a unique, creative kid. I like to think my name's come a little bit farther since then, but I'll probably look back in a couple years and say, hate them. Poco was a very special cat. We had a cabin up north that we went to for Thanksgiving, and we couldn't leave her. She was pretty sick and underweight. As I said earlier, we thought she was a kitten, but she was actually over 6 months old. So we ended up taking her with us. She did not do well. She actually got so stressed out from all the change and new people and medical procedures she was undergoing that she started going into liver failure. And my parents went through a lot of vet bills to make sure she came out of it on the other side, and thank God she did. So she is okay. We've had her 11 years. She's doing fine, except for the fact that she's a hermit. So a couple years ago, when we got our next cat, which I will tell you in a minute, Poca kind of went off the edge. So she's always had anxiety issues. She went into liver failure twice for literally little stressors, but when we brought a new cat into the house, she totally freaked out, and we didn't want to get rid of this cat because this cat was a really good cat. She wasn't being mean to her. The cat was just, Poca was just paranoid. So we took her in the vet to see what was going on, and our vet actually thinks she might have some sort of like schizophrenia on top of her anxiety because she acts like there's something there when there's not. Like, she'll be sitting with us, she'll be on our lap, and she'll just hiss at nothing, like hissing like she wants to kill something. And it's really scary. So she's happiest when she's in my parents' room. She has her own litter box in there, her own food and water. We just keep the door closed. She's happy where she is, and we're going to keep her alive. We're not going to put her down until she's unhappy with her life, until her health keeps declining. While she's happy and comfortable, we're going to let her be happy and comfortable. Our next cat is actually the sweetie who somehow sent psychotic Pocahontas over the edge. This is Velvet. Velvet also has a pretty unique story into how we got her. She was also a rescue, and she doesn't want to be held because Bear was just running around and she smells him, so I'm going to put him down. So we found Velvet at our local pet store, actually. They have a program where foster parents are allowed to bring in their animals and keep them in cages there during the day so that they can get more exposure to the general public, and it helps them get adopted faster. So one day we were going pet shopping to get like food or something simple like that, and I saw her there, and obviously I went up to play with the cats because I love doing that. I feel bad when they're in the cages. I like to give them some entertainment. And she was just the cutest little thing. She was rolling around on her back, sticking her paws through the cage, trying to get my attention. And then all of a sudden, as she was on the multi-level cage at the very top, she kept rolling and rolled all the way off the ledge into the bottom of the floor, Then she promptly got up and acted like nothing happened, that she didn't just totally fall flat on her face, and I fell in love with that. She reminded me of our cat Shadow that we actually put down a few years earlier. She lived till she was 21 years old. I miss that cat. She had been around my entire life, so I just fell in love with Velvet. So I told my mom, I was like, I really want this cat. She reminds me so much of Shadow. I'm like in love with this cat already. And my mom being my mom, she wasn't totally for getting it, but she wasn't against it either. So she said, call your dad. And when she said that, I was like, okay, I'm not getting this cat. My dad always puts his foot down and says no more animals. But I called him anyway, so I'm on the phone. Hey Dad, I'm at the pet store, and there's this cat that the entire family, as my brother and my mom were telling me, keep me out of this, the entire family wants this cat, and she reminds me so much of Shadow, and she rolled off the top ledge, and she's so sweet, and I love her. And somehow my dad said yes. He said, yeah, sure, let's look into this, and we ended up adopting her. We got her whole backstory. So what Velvet's story was, she was only 9 months old, but just a couple months earlier, she had been found in the last, snowstorm of the year in the town over. And she had a litter of kittens that were probably born the same day they found her. And she was sitting there nursing them, trying to keep them alive. So this nice lady who found them took them in, gave them to someone who's known for being a foster parent. And she helped raise Velvet the rest of the way because she's 6 months old. She still wasn't quite an adult cat yet, even though she had her own kids. She's like a teen cat, I guess. And then she helped Velvet raise her kittens as well, and Velvet just became this really nurturing, sweet cat who really does appreciate what humans do for her. I've never seen a cat appreciative of anything. Cats tend to be like, yeah, you give me my food, you're my slave, it is what it is. But Velvet just is not that way. She's the sweetest cat. I'm so happy we have her. She's made our life so much better. Our next animal is our cat, Zola. Zola also has a pretty unique story. All our cats do because they're all rescue. So Zola's story with our family is actually a very heartbreaking one. What happened was we had 3 cats. We had Pocahontas, Velvet, and a cat named Missy, who actually passed away. We had to put her down. She lost a battle with some type of lung cancer. We don't really know what it was, and we had to say goodbye to her. About a week and a half after putting her down, we noticed that Velvet was just really depressed and lonely because she couldn't play with Pocahontas because, as I said earlier, Pocahontas has her own issues. So we kind of said to ourselves, okay, we need to get a cat for her. She's really lonely. I don't want to go down this depression hole. Because we had dealt with that with our rabbit and our guinea pig. They were very bonded. When our guinea pig passed away, our rabbit passed away about 2 weeks later due to total organ failure because he was just so brokenhearted. And obviously, we love our cats and we're going to do the best for them. So we're like, okay, what we need to do for Velvet is get her a friend. So we started looking online for what shelters had because my family really wanted to get a kitten. My brother and I had never experienced a kitten before because all of our cats in our lifetime had been adopted when they're already an adult. So we really, really, really wanted that. And eventually found that our local Humane Society actually had a litter of kittens that were just ready to go home the day we were ready to adopt. So we drove out to the Humane Society. We got there as soon as they opened because we knew those kittens would be going fast. And when we got there, there's just this beautiful litter of kittens. They were all named after the royal family. So there was Princess Diana, Kate, Harry, Meghan, and William. And it was so funny. So the first ones we ended up picking up were Diana and Harry. I picked out Diana, my brother picked out Harry, and we liked them both, and we actually almost got both of them. And so we called our dad, and he was like, no, you're not getting 2 cats. So we agreed to 1 cat. We're not getting 2. So what we ended up doing was we did choose Diana, because that's who we saw on the website. We fell in love with her. She was the only long hair. She just felt so unique to us. And we did change her name to Zola. I actually had a really hard time picking out her name. My brother wanted to name her Zelda. I was like, that's kind of close to her personality, but it's not quite dainty enough. So we decided that while she was young, my room would be like her home base while she was getting the feel for our house. So I closed the door, put her on my bed, and sat down and just decided to watch some old Grey's Anatomy reruns. And while I was watching it, it was the episode where they adopted Zola. I was like, that's the perfect name. It fits her perfectly. And my family agreed, so our cat was indirectly named after Meredith and McDreamy's daughter, so Zola was her name. What we were most afraid of when we were getting a kitten was that crazy kitten phase that everyone was telling us about. Zola didn't really have that. she was actually really calm because Velvet had been a mom before, so she kept her, like, controlled and on the down low, and it was really great. It actually brought out the best in both of them. They had a really cute mother-daughter relationship, and even as Zola's older now, she's over a year old, they still have that beautiful bond that we thought would go away at some point, and it's great to see that it hasn't. So, we've gone through our cats, it's now time to go through our dogs. This is our dog Maggie. She's currently our oldest one. And we actually got her through some really heartbreaking circumstances more than anything else. So what happened was my grandpa and my grandparents' dog died within a year of each other. My grandma felt really lonely. So we encouraged her to get a dog, and she was worried that she wouldn't outlive the dog and that it wouldn't have a home. So we ended up telling her, like, no, if you get a dog and the dog outlives you, we will take the dog. So she adopted Maggie. She had her imported from Florida, as my grandma always does. She was so extra. And unfortunately, we ended up losing her about a year later. What happened was, it was just a really sudden thing. She was actually diagnosed with acute leukemia, which is like, you're not going to survive it. And she was diagnosed sometime in like late May. And by the 1st of June, she had passed away. So we were kind of like really frazzled about what we were going to do with this dog. My aunt and my mom kind of had a little bit of a custody battle for it. In the end, we did decide that we had the best house for our dog because we had kids in it, and Maggie loves kids. So we adopted her, and she fit in right to our house. At the time, we had another dog named Princess, and they got along perfectly. And honestly, Maggie is one of the best things that has ever happened to us. And I'm really grateful that we have her because it's like a piece of our grandmother that is no longer with us. Bear's last sibling is my puppy Bentley. Can't tell, he's kind of weird. He's like half cat. Bentley's story has been an interesting one. Similar to when we adopted Zola, we actually lost our dog Princess that I mentioned during Maggie's story. And we actually ended up getting Bentley less than a week after we had to put Princess down. We weren't really ready to get another dog, but Maggie was so depressed, like beyond depressed. We didn't know what to do. My parents decided that they really wanted another Boston Terrier, which is what Maggie is. They just fell in love with the breed. So we ended up going to a breeder who had a litter of boys. And Bentley is a very interesting little fellow. So we got him. He just stood out to us. And we brought him home and we put him on the floor with Maggie, and we all of a sudden thought, what if they don't get along? What if this is going to take some work? And they ended up staring at each other for like a split second, and we got really scared. But then Bentley ran up to Maggie and started playing with her, and she was playing back. It was the cutest little thing, and he was the tiniest little puppy, even though he doesn't look it now. You chunky. Yeah, you're chunky. And a couple months after we got him, he actually had to have a nose and palate surgery. So, if you didn't know, with dogs that have short snouts, they tend to have a harder time breathing through their nose. As Bentley was growing, his nasal passages were not, so basically his nose was growing around his nasal passages, and he couldn't breathe. So he had a nose job at a couple months old to open up the nostrils and lengthen his palate, which is the roof of your mouth, so you can actually breathe through your nose. And Bentley and I actually have a really special relationship. I was going through a really rough time in my life at the time we got him. I was having some serious health problems. I was really scared. I didn't know what was going on. So he kind of like offered a distraction, like, okay, not everything in life is bad right now. And I really became like his mom. I was the one who was waking up with him in the middle of the night when he needed to go to the bathroom, or when he was crying because we were cage training him. So he wasn't sleeping with us at first. And I was the one who was feeding him and letting him out every 45 minutes on the dot, otherwise he would have an accident. And we just grew close, and he's one of the best things that has ever happened to me in my mental health. And I am beyond thankful for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you stayed this long, I know it was kind of lengthy, but we had quite a few animals to go through, and they all have very special stories I wanted to say. I apologize for being shaky as I was telling these stories. A lot of them are very emotional to me, and it was just very hard for me to talk about for some of them. And even for the stories that weren't super heartbreaking to me, it just makes me emotional to think about how I got these animals and how much of a shot in the dark it was. Like, it was totally by chance that we ended up with them. I really feel like all of these animals were destined to be part of this family, Bear included. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. We have a small subscriber base. The last time I checked, we had 2. This is why you don't let animals in your room. As I was saying, we have 2. And I just really hope you guys keep up on this. I'm really grateful that you're here and you're watching these videos. It honestly means a lot to me. I know it's only 2 people, but it makes the world of a difference to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great day with your ferret and any other animals you have.